Hello everyone, this is Steve Layson, Coordinator of Math, with an important presentation regarding middle school math placement and course progressions. I'm joined here today with Dr. White, our Director of Curriculum and Instruction. Good morning, Dr. White.
Good morning, Steve. I'm happy to be here and excited to share this important information.
Dr. White, as you know, we often get questions about the transition from grade 5 to the middle school regarding the selection of math courses.
And it's a very important decision, and that's why we are here today to explain in detail and inform every one of the options available to the incoming sixth graders, as well as the progression they will encounter through their middle school experience.
Okay then, are you ready?
Let's get started.
Here we go.
In today's presentation, we will focus on the following topics. We'll begin by taking a look at the possible pathways or course selections for middle school students. Then we'll dive a little deeper into the standards for each course. In doing this, we'll pay particular attention to the skills taught in grades 6 and 7. Next, we will discuss placement and the impact of course selections. And then finally, we will conclude with a few statements about available resources. Here we see a nice sequential visual of the course pathways for successful students. There are basically three pathways that students may travel. They are on grade level, advanced, and honors, which begins with pre-algebra in grade 6. As the slide indicates, students working on grade level would eventually take pre-algebra in grade 8. Students working slightly ahead of grade level would take Algebra 1 honors for high school credit in grade 8. Students working beyond that in the honors pathway would have 2 high school credits, one for Algebra 1 honors and another for geometry honors by the time they leave middle school.
That's right, Steve. The important thing to understand about those high school credit courses is that those grades count toward a high school grade point average, or GPA.
That's right, Mary, and it's also worth noting at this time that students can retake those courses if they earn a grade of C or less at the middle school level.
Can you talk a little bit, Mr. Layson, about what happens to students who might really struggle in any given year in their math class?
Of course, Mary. With the way that we have our pathways, students may change pathways from one year to the next without ever repeating the exact same course. That's important because students have to earn credit in 3 different courses to satisfy their middle school mathematics requirement.
And Steve, I noticed that the way this is laid out is if students want the opportunity to take Algebra 1 in the middle school, they really should start in their grade 6 year in grade 6 advanced class.
Yes, exactly right. And that is why this year we're recommending that all students working on grade level, meaning if they've achieved a level 3 or higher on the FSA assessment, we recommend that those students be placed in the advanced course. Teachers may also recommend other students based on other evaluation criteria and other sources of data that they've collected over the course of the year.
So Steve, what's the difference in content between the on-level and the advanced math courses at each grade level?
To answer that, Mary, let's go a little deeper and look at some of the standards within each course.
So, let's look at the standards in each grade level, beginning with grade 6. Here we see the 29 standards in grade 6, which make up the grade 6 on-level course. Moving on to grade 7, these 24 standards are covered in the grade 7 on-level course. Finally, the grade 8 on-level course consists of the 28 standards shown here. It is important for everyone to understand the difference between on-level and advanced courses. Here is the overall picture. Notice the 3 distinct sections for each grade level. Also notice at this time the standards circled in red as well as the standards circled in blue. The 8 additional red standards in the grade 7 section, along with all the standards in the grade 6 section, make up the grade 6 advanced course. Now let's look at grade 7 advanced. If you look at the graphic, the grade 7 advanced course consists of the 16 standards you see in the grade 7 section, as well as the 28 standards you see in the grade 8 section. This adds up to a total of 44 standards for the grade 7 advanced course.
There appears to be an awful lot of content for grade 7 advanced course, Steve.
I know, Mary, right. That's because the 7th grade advanced course is really the entire pre-algebra curriculum along with a handful of other standards from grade 7. And that's one reason why we're going to be creating new scope and sequences for the advanced courses next year. And the great thing about these documents is that they will not only integrate the cross-grade level standards, but they're also going to build in a good amount of time so that teachers can accommodate for the variety of populations that we serve in our district. Additionally, we're also going to provide teachers with brand new common quarterly assessments that will give them data to help determine levels of proficiency of their students from quarter to quarter.
And Steve, that's why it's so important that teachers follow those scope and sequences for better student success.
Exactly right. Everyone needs to do his or her part so that students, to ensure that students don't miss out on any of those important standards from grade 6 to 7 to 8.
Now, Steve, we talked about the difference between on-level and advanced level math courses. What will be the students doing going into pre-algebra in the 6th grade?
Mary, did you realize that going from 5th grade math to 6th grade pre-algebra is basically the equivalent of skipping 2 years of mathematics?
That's a huge jump. So what exactly will be students missing from that point?
Great question, Mary, because there is a lot of important content within those 2 grade levels.
Take a few seconds and look at these key topics for grade 6. Now, here are some of the key topics covered in grade 7.
As you can see, Mary, skipping the key concepts that we just saw in the prior slides could result in gaps in student learning. These gaps would not only affect the student's potential to achieve in later math courses, but could also show up on standardized assessments such as the SAT and the ACT. For these reasons, placement in that 6th grade pre-algebra should be highly selective.
Correct. I agree with that, Steve. And at the same time, we want to ensure that as many students as possible have the opportunity to take Algebra 1 at the middle school level prior to the students going to high school. That's why we recommend that all 6th grade students working on level or above be placed in the advanced level 6th grade course. Steve, I have another question. What can we do to help students who struggle or students who may have some gaps in learning?
Yes, Mary, a lot of teachers right now are using a variety of on-level as well as print materials to meet the needs of their individual students. I know Math Nation, iReady, and Khan Academy are just a few that are in place now. In many of these applications, the good thing is students can watch videos of the instruction, and they can watch these at their own pace to kind of reinforce the lessons that were presented within the classrooms. Also, these resources provide practice problems and assessments that teachers can use to remediate as well as enrich the student experience.
Thank you, Steve. I really appreciate that. I just want to remind 5th grade parents and students that you have iReady, both reading and math, throughout the summer for use until you get to 6th grade. So it's a great chance for remediation as well as enrichment. Steve, thank you for this information because I think it's really important that middle school math progression really helps our students achieve and students be able to take Algebra 1 in the 8th grade level before they go to high school. I really appreciate this great information, Steve. Thank you.
Well, thank you for being here, Dr. White.